do solutions tend to be difficult and expensive to implement, or are there pragmatic, commonsensical ways we can go about it, cities can go about it?
The physical, of course, is necessary in many parts of the world, but it's not enough. And even if you had the resources for the infrastructure, you need to think more about people, and you know, also at the core, we are doing all these things because we want people to be healthy. So critical issues for success is really to engage people. But there is an issue there, and I think it's up to us maybe to find a more positive description of what we are doing. Because it's hard to maybe motivate communities to think about disasters and risk when what they really set the price on is a healthy environment, their own development, having jobs, etc. They set their plans and they engage the community and say, we have to achieve these Millennium Development Goals, for example. In order to do that, we also have to consider the risks and the disasters and other shocks that can throw us off course. So how do we do that? And this, for example, a governor in the Philippines, where they have 20 or so typhoons every year. So he said 10% of our development budget will be to ensure that we do things in a risk-informed manner. So you get the positive impact of engaging your community in doing things well, accepting maybe some inconveniences when you have to evacuate, but also making a serious investment in paying for it. And that investment only works if a government or a community puts their own resources to it. They really need to own it. And these things that are simple and not so costly makes a significant difference between life and death and a better community.
In terms of cities and building resilience in them, what hopeful tools or advancements do you see from science and engineering in construction techniques or information technologies?
On the engineering side, I have been very impressed by the absolute determination and commitment by engineering's rock mechanics to set very high quality standards. And they do that as professionals, and if we can transfer that strong professionalism of standard setting to also public standards and public policies, and then I feel very sort of convinced about that. Similarly in urban design, experts bring lots of wisdom, but sometimes experts work too far away from the decision makers who have financial pressures and shorter time frame. Another thing that I think with cities is the recognition that the tough years of cement and steel may be behind us. The recognition of if you plant more greenery in cities, they become more livable. And you know, there are many efficiencies in cities. Efficiencies of proximity. If you have many people in one place, it's economically more efficient to implement measures on energy efficiency, means of transport. So all these things, you know, I see as really instruments for cities to become even better spaces, if consistently applied. And even some cities that have grown too fast and have a mix of very poor and very rich social inequalities create tensions and very large informal settlements. If there is a determination, of course they can be improved. Of course they can be improved, both as physically but also socially and safety, and in a way I think New York has proven. Many decades ago I wouldn't have dared to go to New York, it had such a bad reputation.
For personal safety?
Yes.
Yes.